Hello everyone, hope you're doing and welcome back to my channel. Today we are at day 5 of the November daily Leetcode challenge, and prior to this I've already explained the whole solution in Python, and this particular video will be to explain the solution in Java. Okay, just a quick recap of what we discussed in the other video. Okay, this is a medium level question, and here we are discussing about like how to make string beautiful. Okay, we have to written the answer in terms of minimum number of changes that are required to make the string as beautiful, and they're saying the definition as a string is beautiful if it's possible to partition it into one or more substrings. Okay, remember, one or more substrings such that each substring has a even length. Okay, each of those substring has a even length, and each of those substring has only ones or zeros present. Okay, so since I explained it in detail in the other video, I'm not going to the in detail explanation of this particular theory of the question. Okay, I will directly jump to the example. Okay, so this is a Python solution, I know, but just I will explain this part and then I will go to the Java solution. Okay, so suppose this is the question given to us. Okay, first we will try to break it into smaller substrings as much as possible. Okay, this is one such division where we are dividing the length by 2 and we are making two substrings. Okay, we'll break it down further. Okay, because try to understand here, they are talking about one or more substrings. Okay, and each of them should be even. So now if you can consider these two, and try to tell, if you can quickly tell me what should be the length of the smallest possible substring, satisfying these two conditions. Okay, it should be substring, at the same time should be even, it should have even length. So we'll get to know that the smallest possible substring will have a length of 2. Okay, in this case. Okay, that because other, if it goes below 2 it will not be even. Okay, that is the basic idea here. So we will try to break it down into such extent that only substrings of length 2 are remaining. Okay, so if you can join them, basically we are getting the original string back. Okay, that is the basic idea. Now when we have a substring of length 2, we are trying to check whether all the elements inside them are having the same value or not. That is, all of them are 1 or all of them are 0. If that is not the case, then we will need to make some changes. Okay, for example, in this case, here both of them are equal, here both of them are equal, similarly here and here they are equal. So the number of changes in each case will be 0 and the final answer is 0. So I don't have to make any change in the substring, and this substring is already beautiful by default. Okay, this substring is already beautiful and I don't have to make any number of changes further. Okay, that is the basic idea. Now coming to the example one here, if you see, okay, this is the question given in example one. Okay, what we are trying to do, we are trying to break it down further into substrings of length 2. Okay, so these are the two cases that we got. Remember, we are talking about substrings and not subsequences. Okay, I have given a detailed explanation of this in my Python video. You can just go there and check it out. Okay, you can simply Google search also, you'll get to know that there is slight, big difference there when it comes to subsequence and sub array. Okay, that is a big difference. Okay, subarray or substring, whichever you call it. Here we are basically having a substring of length 2. Okay, so what I'm saying, see here, they are not matching. Okay, here the elements in each of the substrings are basically not matching, so obviously we'll have to make one change here. Okay, so since they're not matching, one change will be needed in this. Okay, similarly in this they are not matching, so I have to make one change here also. So total number of changes I have to make will be 2. But remember, whether I am making this 0 as 1 or this 1 as 0, that is not important to us. What is important to us is they should be matching, so we have to make one change, that is it. Okay, we don't have to go into in depth of what we are making the change, because it is not going to matter. Here they're simply saying, okay, each of the substring should have this property. Okay, as long as I can make this substring satisfy this particular property, these two properties, I am good, right? I don't have to bother much about what will happen when I join this with other substring, whether they will be matching or not. See, those things are not required here. They're simply saying, see, they have not mentioned, right? They have not mentioned what is the minimum length of the substring should be. So we have to assume, because they have given it lies the even length, right? So the minimum possible length is going to be 2 only. So if there are 2 and we have to ensure that each of them matches, so this is the only possible way we can do it. Okay, we'll have to make them equal, we have to make this equal. Okay, that's the basic idea, right? So here only one and one change will be needed. So in total, two changes will be needed. That is the basic idea. So every string given to you have to break it down into substrings of length 2, and you have to see whether all of them are having the same value or not in each of those substrings. If they're not having the same value, then you will have to add the added one to your answer. Okay. So what we are doing here is, if I go to the Java solution, so this is the Java solution. What I'm taking the length of the s given to me, that is the input given to me. I'm taking its length. I'm declaring number of changes. This will be my answer basically, and I'm initializing it with 0. Okay. So I'm now starting a for loop. Here I am starting from I equal to 1. Remember that, not from I equal to 0. I'm starting from I equal to 1, and in each case, that is after each iteration, I will be changed to I is equal to I plus 2. That is the basic idea here. So what I'm doing, see, for every iteration I will be comparing I with I minus 1. That is s of I with s of I minus 1. And if they are not equal, okay, if they are not equal, I will be adding 1 to my answer. See, the idea here is, see, as I mentioned, I have to take, see, the minimum possible length of a substring is 2, right? So in this case, I am assuming that s and s of I is going to be the smallest possible substring. Okay, for that I'm checking whether I need to do any change or not. Okay, similarly, I'm breaking the whole array into substrings of length 2. Okay, so that's why if you see I is equal to I plus 2 here, because I and I minus 1 in each iteration will be following a substring, and we have to check whether they are same or not. That is, the value within the substring are same or not. If they are not the same, that means we'll have to do one change there. Okay, so we're adding 1 to our number of changes, and finally we are returning the number of changes. Okay, if I can quickly run this and show you. I've already segmented this solution actually, and it already got accepted. So as you can see, all the test cases are getting accepted. So the basic idea here is to understand the basic concept what you're trying to say. Okay, this question looks difficult in the when you read it for the first time. It looks like you have to apply some DP or some DTP or something like that. But when you analyze it properly, see, because they are not saying what is the minimum length of substring going to be. So this leaves us only one idea, because they're also saying it should be even, that the minimum length is going to be 2 only, right? So you have to break the whole string into substrings of length 2. And obviously when we say substring, it means that the elements we have chosen should be adjacent to each other. That's why in this case I'm starting like this. Okay, for every I, I'm trying to pair it with I minus 1, and I'm checking whether they are same or not. Okay, if they're not same, we are increasing the number of changes by 1, and finally we're writing the number of changes. So yeah friend, that was all for this question. If you see the constraints here, it is going to be from as 2 to 10 power 5, and it's a binary string, so obviously it will be 0 and 1, and it's a even length. So everything here matches because it's even thing. That's why this approach will ensure that we are crossing, going through each of the all of the indices, right? So yeah friend, that was all for today. This question was on a trickier side. Here we did not do much of coding, but yeah, it was more of like analyzing and imagination power, right? And obviously slight of mathematics as well. But yeah, still it was something good that we had. Okay, after a long time we are having this kind of question. So yeah, that was all for today. See you tomorrow. Thanks a lot.